Good morning, first teachers. My name is Amelia Joan Brown, and today we are beginning another part of our series in literacy. This is part 3, and the focus is on simple tips to teach your child how to read. And today we are looking at 3-letter words. We use 2 types of construction of words in the nursery for 3-letter words, and the first one is called the CVC construction. So we have actually done this before. It's consonant, vowel, consonant. So we start with a consonant, we have a medial vowel, and then we end with a consonant. So for example, cat. When we are teaching a child how to read, we are making sure that they can hear the initial, the medial, and the ending sounds as simple individual sounds. 3 different sounds. Children usually pick up the initial sound first. So children learn to hear cat, mat, especially sounds linked to their name. So Amelia, for example, but they also have to learn the medial sound and they have to learn the ending sound. To do that, we use one of the tips that we had in one of our previous videos, which is enunciation. So making sure that the child understands the sound by enunciating it. So if we're talking cat as the 3-letter word, we would say the initial sound, if that's what we want the child to hear, very, very specifically. So cat. If we want the child to hear the ending sound, we would enunciate the ending sound. So for example, cat. If we want the child to hear the medial sound, which is the most difficult of all, we would say the medial sound with an enunciation. So cat. Making sure that the child can pick up individual 3 sounds means that they can construct the word. Once they have the 3 sounds, they can put them together, cat, and they can create the word cat. The second thing that we use in our school is what we call onset and rime. Onset and rime doesn't use individual sounds. It actually uses a digraph, which we've spoken about before as well. So it puts 2 different sounds together, for example, at, and instead of having at as an individual sound, medial and ending sound, it's joining them together to make one sound at. Once the child recognizes the sound at, they can put on, as a rhyme, they can put on onsets. So for example, cat, k, at, at, p, at, r, at, s, at, p, at, m, at, and then they can actually learn to read quite easily because they only need to know the rhyme and the individual initial sounds. So once a child can do that, you need to let them try and do that themselves. And the way that we do this is allow the child to self-correct. So for example, if you have either a picture of a cat, for example, or an actual little figurine of a cat, or putting a picture of a cat across the 3 sounds at the back so that the child can actually self-correct by looking at the back or putting the picture next to it. So that is the way that we do it, because it's much better for a child to self-correct than for a teacher or a parent or a carer to stand there and say it's wrong, which often puts a child off. Rather, if a child can self-correct and then they're working against themselves, which is a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. So that's how we do it in our school. We'll definitely be sending out different sheets. We use things called Elkonin boxes regularly, which you can actually download off the internet, and you can use that to help your child to build words. We hope that was helpful. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and see you again soon. Bye.